Object-oriented programming in Python. Python is an object-oriented programming language. So, what do we mean by object-oriented programming? It is also termed as OOPS or Object-Oriented Programming System. OOPS is actually a programming paradigm that focuses on the use of classes and objects. Again, you may ask what a paradigm is. Programming paradigms are different styles, ways, or approach in which a given program or a programming language can be organized. There are various programming paradigms or styles, such as imperative programming, procedural programming, functional programming, declarative programming, logic programming, etc. In this lesson, we will learn the basic concepts of object-oriented programming and how to write codes in Python using this style. Let's begin with the four main pillars of object-oriented programming. The four main pillars of object-oriented programming are abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. Abstraction. Abstraction is the technique of hiding the internal implementation of a system to the general users. It allows us in showing only the required details or services to a particular client or user. For example, consider a car. Car is made up of various components, but the car driver is concerned only about whether it is working or not, such as whether the brake, horn, steering, accelerator, etc. are functioning or not. He/shoes need not know how the engine, the braking system, the accelerator, or the is working, etc. Encapsulation. Encapsulation is the process of bundling data and methods as a single unit. It increases data security as both the data and the methods that are allowed access the data are in one place and access to data is given on need basis. In Python, a class is used for this purpose. Inheritance. Inheritance is the technique of acquiring the features of an existing class, also called a parent class, by a new class, also called a child class. Inheritance helps in reuse of codes of the base or super classes by a new class. The child class acquires all the attributes and methods of the base class. The class may have some additional attributes and methods. Polymorphism. Polymorphism means taking many forms by an entity or an object. Polymorphism is achieved in various ways such as through inheritance, method overriding, method overloading, etc. For example, consider these people. All of them belong to the class person, but one is a teacher, another one is a doctor, someone else is a footballer, one is a painter, etc. In OOPS terminology, they are all objects of the class person, but they are behaving differently. This is the basic idea of polymorphism. That is, an object may behave differently in various situations. So, these are the four main pillars of OOPS. Now let's briefly discuss about the concept of class and objects. Class and objects. A class is a blueprint for creating objects, whereas objects are the instances of a class. That is, objects are created by instantiation of a class. So, we may also think of a class as a collection of objects. Objects have properties or attributes and behaviors or methods, encapsulated in a single unit. For example, consider the students of a school. The students have the following attributes: identity number, name, class, section, etc. She is Riya, her identity number is 16. She reads in class 5 section C. So, these are her attributes. Please remember, she is an object of class, student. Other students have the similar attributes. Students read, write, draw, sing, play, dance, sits for exams, run, etc. These are the behaviors or methods of an object. Now we have a fair idea about object-oriented programming terminologies. We have also learnt what are classes and objects. So, let's move to the actual coding section. In Python, we use the keyword class to create a class. The syntax for creating a class is like this. First the keyword class, followed by a suitable name of the class, then a colon, then in new lines after giving proper indent we need to put the statements that defines the class. The statements that define the class is nothing but a set of attributes and methods. Here is an example that defines a class named student. Here we will first define a class constructor, the init method. The init method is used to initialize the attributes of an object. Note that the init method has leading and trailing underscores, 2 underscores in each side. The first parameter of the init method is self. Self is special term that is used to refer to the object itself. Then we may add more parameters as per our requirement. Here, we are providing 2 more parameters, stud_id and stud_name. Now let's add 2 attributes to each object, stud_id and stud_name. Self.stud_id means stud_id of the object itself. And self.stud_name means stud_name of the object itself. So, this is our init method or the class constructor. The method will be automatically called whenever a new object of this student class is created. Here our class has 2 attributes, stud_id and stud_name. The init method will initialize these attributes with the supplied arguments. Let's define another method, show, that will display the attributes of the object that will be created. Observe the parameter, self. We need to provide this parameter to every method for accessing attributes or other methods of the object. This print statement prints the attributes stud_id and stud_name. Observe that we are accessing these attributes as self.stud_id and self.stud_name. This is also known as dot notation for accessing the attributes and methods of an object. This is our show method. It simply displays the attributes of the objects. Let's draw a UML diagram for the class student. UML stands for Unified Modeling Language. The rectangle at the right-hand side is our UML diagram. The upper part holds the attributes stud_id and stud_name. The lower part shows the methods. Here it is show. Only one method here. These are the attributes, and this is our method. And this is the class constructor init. So, we have defined a class named student. It is just a blueprint for creation of objects. So let's create an object of this class. Here, student_1 is a variable that holds an object of the class student. We are supplied the 2 attributes. These attributes will be assigned to the stud_id and stud_name by the class constructor init. Don't be confused by what is displayed here. We need to type just the values, here, 125 and RIA. The attribute names are displayed by the IDE on its own. The remark line below shows the actual thing that was typed by me. So, student_1 is an object of the class student. That is, student_1 is an instance of the class student. Let's now access the show method using the dot notation, object name.method name. Here the object name is student_1 and the method name is show. Let's run the code in the terminal and check the output. The result is as per our code. That is, we are able to use the object show method to access its own attributes. Let's create another object student_2 and display its attributes also. We have successfully created 2 objects of the class student. That is, our code is working fine. Here, we may also access the attributes of the object directly using the dot notation as shown here. Using the dot notation, we may also change the attributes of the objects as shown here. Here is a question for you. Observe the statements carefully and find the output on your own. Pause for a while and answer the question on your own. So far we have learned the basic concepts of object-oriented programming in Python, how to define a class in Python, what is a class constructor, how to create objects of a particular class, etc. This is just one way of defining classes and objects in Python. We will learn more about this in our next lesson. So, this is all for today's lesson. Please wait for few more lessons on OOPs. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this, please press the like button. And if you want to say something, just put a comment. I will be happy to have your valuable feedback and answer you. If not already subscribed, please subscribe the channel. Happy coding, bye.